What's up, guys? Dude in his room, and today we're gonna be talking about Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 3, The Long Night. Now, me and a lot of people, probably millions upon millions, have been waiting for this episode for at least 7 years. See, I watched the very first premiere of Game of Thrones back in 2011. It was pitched almost, it seemed like this medieval show. And little did I realize it had so much fantasy in it, giant direwolves, zombies, all that stuff. So the White Walkers have been a part of this storyline for 7 to 8 years, which is absolutely insane that they would put that all, they wrap all that up in one episode, which I thought it was going to be an hour and 30. It was probably like an hour and 15, hour and 20. And my first gripe is it should have been 2 episodes. 2 episodes, man. Just give us a cliffhanger and then part 2 next week. Because now we're going to have 4 episodes of them fighting Cersei. And I think that's just stupid because there's just so much fantasy and so much beauty about the Night King and his army of White Walkers and whites and all that stuff. And I know, for example, whenever they went to Hardhome, that whole episode, I think it was like season 6, and then you get to see the whites in action, and they just look so good. The CGI is insane. The CGI when they're attacking Hodor and Bran, whenever they're going through the sisters of something, the Sisters of the Forest or something. That was insane. They look so good. They're just gnawing through stuff, just trying to get at them, and it looks so good. But then we get the Long Night, and right off the bat, it's dark. I'm really confused how dark it is. I thought it was just because Amazon and there's just a lot of people streaming the episode that the streaming couldn't keep up, so it was kind of missing some stuff because there's like a big black cloud that you could see just moving all over the screen for some reason. So I actually went to bed and waited and got up at 4 o'clock the next morning and watched it, and it was still there. So I just watched the whole show. But that's another gripe is it was too dark, probably because they shot it at night and there's just so much CGI going on. But that wasn't. I could get past that. A lot of the fighting scenes were hindered because of this. Just you could not see what was going on. Just so much going on, just moving back and forth, and you're just like, what? I can't tell. But we're gonna go to the beginning of the episode. Right off the bat, they're in the action. The Dothraki are out there, and they're in the front line. They're all on horseback, and freaking Melisandre. I can't pronounce it. I had it earlier. Melisandre goes out there and lights all of the Dothraki's freaking swords on fire, which looked awesome. The first one goes off, and then it shows the whole view of them all going off, and they're freaking pumped. Okay, they ride out into the darkness. They don't give a shit. They're Dothraki. They just ride out there, and it looks so good. It's just the flames going over, and then you got the catapults shooting over. It looked amazing. It looked so good. And then it pans back, or no, it shows just this big ass wall of zombies, just a giant wall, and they just smack right into it. And it shoots back to the other army, and the other army is just, they're hopeful. And then all of a sudden they're just, holy shit. All the flames start dwindling out. And it looked so good. It was probably the best start to the episode. And I know there's a lot of critiques on the battle tactics. They should have flanked. They should have waited till the whites came in and then they went around them. But the Dothraki, they don't give a fuck. They're just gonna charge in there and be freaking Dothrakis, and they all died, which I thought was really cool. It's a good way to get it started. I didn't really care about the Dothraki. They didn't do a good job of building up the character for them. But then we go off to, I guess, the second front. The zombies, they kill all the Dothraki, then they charge the rest of the line. And it looked it could have looked really good. But you just see this big black cloud, like, it didn't look right. It just looked like like they didn't put in the textures or something, like a video game mixing the textures. So they charge and flop over, and it looked pretty cool. You get to see some zombies chop, chop a head off, stuff like that. But the combat is just, it's there, but you just don't have those moments of like, for example, Braveheart, where it shows this big action and then it shows just one guy just chopping a dude's head off. Then you have a Battle of Blackwater when the Hound is out there and it shows, it shows like a lot of people fighting, then it shows the Hound just splitting people in two. It didn't have those slow action shots just to really get into the battle, which that kind of made me mad. But I still was enjoying the show or the episode up to this moment. It still looked really good. So I guess eventually they get pushed back to the castle. Arya, I'm probably gonna skip a lot of stuff just because I'm just doing this off the top of my head. What we got? We're on. Okay. Grey Worm. Grey Worm should have died. He should have been like defending the wall out there, and then he goes down. I never really cared for Grey Worm, the love story between him and the other chick. Ugh, just so much screen time for that. But they retreat back into Winterfell, and stuff starts going crazy. The guys are spilling over the wall. That's happening. Arya's running from White. She's like sneaking around, which was kind of cool. It's like a World War Z kind of moment where she didn't want to kill one because it would just alert all the other ones, and she's just sneaking. And she's sneaking, and then she gets caught kind of, and then Beric and the Hound come in hand. And then they save her, which made sense because the Hound saw her, and they rushed over, and it made sense. It wasn't one of those just get you, just that save you moment where the character just unbelievably gets saved. But they save her, and then they're running away from the Whites, and Beric starts getting stabbed. He gets stabbed in the leg, and then he starts getting stabbed, and then there's this moment where they could do something so freaking cool. Just so cool. Beric's like in the hallways. He's got his arms up. He's holding against the doors. He's like, go! Go! And then blood's just pouring out of him. He just goes like this. He goes and just lights his blood on fire and just sucks into him and just explodes him. And it's like that scene from season 6 right before Hodor gets killed. And you just have that moment of Beric just like, go! I'll hold him back! Or something like that. And they didn't do that. He just kept running and getting stabbed. Now, the scene didn't upset me that much. It was decently done, but it could have been absolutely crazy. Just that Hodor moment. That Hodor moment from season, I think it was season 6. It was season 6. The end of season 6. Hold the door. That scene was insanely magical. I had to watch it 100 times because it was just so emotional, so beautiful. It was awesome. And they could have done that with Beric's death. Just something cool. Just lights himself on fire and just explodes. Or just goes and he lights or does something and just fights him off. I wish. But we keep pushing forward. What else do we have? Beric's death. Who else died? Okay, so we're just going to go on to the next moment I really liked. The Jorah Mormont and Daenerys scene. Them fighting together. It was awesome. It was so awesome. And then him just taking hits and just keeps killing him. It was like a Boromir moment. It was so cool. He's just getting hit and just stabbing and just he keeps fighting because he freaking loves her, okay? She doesn't love him, but he loves her. And he just mows all these guys down. He must have killed like 30 guys and took so many freaking hits. He's just getting stabbed all over the place, but he keeps getting back up. And his death was great. They did an excellent job there. It was very satisfying. It was heroic. It was beautiful. It really was. Now we're going to move on to something else great, the dragon fights. The dragon fights were awesome. Mostly the one when they fly up over the clouds and you can see them so clearly. That shit. Okay, it's still up there. That shit is so cool. It looked so good. And then when they're flying over all the scenes where the dragons are flying over and shooting up their fire and just exploding the battlefield looked great. Here's my gripe is the battle was so dark, but as soon as that fire hit and it shot up in the air, it lit up everything and it looked great. So I wish the fire, when it hit, it stayed and lit up the battlefield. And you could just see everything going on instead of it dissipating and it going back to that horrible darkness where you couldn't see shit. And then the winter came in and made it even harder to see stuff. They should have balanced that out somehow. I know you want to get everybody into that environment, but that was just a little too much.